Hi, I'm Union, and today we're going to be filming my famous Tofu Scramble.
Actually, it's my Tofu Scramble, and I'm Jillian. Welcome to our kitchen. So the awesome thing about Tofu Scramble is that there is no right or wrong way to do it. You can put in any kinds of vegetables that you have on hand. I like to mix it up every time, see what I have in my fridge. And so today we've pre-prepped some stuff. And what we had on hand was some diced tomato. I've got a half of a red and a half of an orange bell pepper. About a cup and a half of spinach and one whole white onion, and then I had a little bit of purple onion already diced up, so we're just gonna throw it in because why not? I've also chopped up a little bit of basil and some cilantro that we just happen to have on hand, about 3 cloves of garlic, and then we've got 1 container of extra firm tofu, and then we'll garnish later with some avocado. So let's get cooking. So the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is saute our garlic and our onion so that they get a little bit translucent. And because we're trying to be healthy, we're actually not gonna use any oil. I'm gonna take this fancy pot filler and put a tiny bit of water in this pan. Yeah, that could be enough. And then start it and add my garlic and the onion and saute for about 5 minutes. So we'll take a close look here. Our onions are definitely starting to become translucent. Look at that, just with water, no oil. And I highly recommend some protective eye coverings for the, onion slicing and cooking if you have sensitive eyes like we do.
Smells great.
So our onions have cooked really nicely without any oil. Pretty amazing. So now that our onions are mostly cooked, we're gonna go ahead and put our peppers in. So just add that. And we'll add the tomato. I'm gonna let that cook. Our peppers are still cooking, and I just sampled one to see, and it's still pretty crunchy. Because of the heat, I have my pan on, and I'm trying to go about medium heat. I'm running out of water, so I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more water to this, just to give it a little more moisture so that those peppers can keep cooking. And I personally don't like my bell peppers to be mushy, but I also don't want them super crunchy. So it's somewhere in the middle for me, but and that may vary person to person, so I'd recommend just, taking one out and tasting it, see if it's the right consistency for you. Okay, success. Our peppers are just soft enough. I think we're ready to move on. So the next step is really important. Wash your hands really, 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 really good, because we're gonna put the tofu in. And I did not pre-drain the tofu, literally just cut the container, drain the liquid out, put the tofu here. I didn't press it or anything fancy. But what we are gonna do is pick it up with our hands. I like to break it in half, and we're gonna crumble the tofu in. So it's gonna crumble in like this. And you're just wanting to break it up. If there are any big chunks, you can pick those up and make sure it's really crumbled. It gives it a little bit more of a egg-like texture versus it feeling like cut chunks of tofu. Once our tofu is all in, we're just gonna give it a nice stir. And the next thing we're gonna do is start seasoning this. Tofu is really cool. It doesn't have a super strong taste, and it will take on whatever flavor you give it. We're gonna start with some turmeric. It's gonna give it that nice yellow color. Cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, some cayenne pepper, yeast, salt, pepper, and my favorite, oregano. And so once everything is seasoned, now I'm actually gonna add my spinach and my cut up herbs And then I'm going to mix that in. And voila, our tofu scramble is all done. And then the most important next step is to put it in a bowl and have someone handy to give it a good taste test.
Ah! That is really hot.
And there you have it, folks. A simple, healthy tofu scramble, no added oil, packed with plants, delicious.
I make a great tofu scramble.
You sure do. Oh,